This is the Milky Way, a galaxy we're all familiar with. That's because it's the galaxy where Earth is located. It's roughly here, on a spiral arm structure called the Orion Arm, about 26,000 light-years from the galactic core. If we could travel through the Milky Way, we'd see that the entire Milky Way has at least 100 billion stars, with some estimates reaching as high as 400 billion. There are also all kinds of nebulae, like the famous Orion Nebula, M42, the M78 Nebula, and others. Of course, you'd also see planets with oceans, green lands, and even planets teeming with life. But this isn't Earth. Instead, it's one of the other potentially habitable planets in the Milky Way. So, the question is, how many such habitable planets are there in the universe? And are we humans the only intelligent life? As we all know, the stars visible to the naked eye in the night sky total about 6,000. While this is just the tip of the iceberg for the entire Milky Way, each of them might, just like our Sun, have its own planets. They might even have super-Earths that are even more habitable. To learn more about these exoplanets, NASA launched the Kepler Space Telescope in March 2009. One of its main goals was to search for potentially habitable planets in the Milky Way. When a planet passes in front of its star, transits, it can be detected by this telescope. However, using Earth as a standard, to determine if an Earth-like planet is habitable, we not only need to consider if the planet is in the habitable zone, just like Earth, which maintains just the right distance from the Sun, creating a comfortable environment where the surface isn't too hot or too cold. We also need to consider its mass, atmospheric composition, and whether liquid water exists. Among the approximately 4,000 exoplanets discovered by the Kepler telescope using the transit method, most of them are completely different from Earth. Some have extremely harsh environments where almost nothing can grow. Of course, there are also planets like Kepler 22b, Kepler 452b, and others. These are super-Earths that might be habitable. A new study published in the Astronomical Journal explains that based on observations from the Kepler Space Telescope, it's estimated that within our Milky Way galaxy alone, there are about 300 million potentially habitable exoplanets. The closest of these might be only about 20 light-years away from us. This strongly suggests that Earth is not the only planet in the universe suitable for human habitation. But unfortunately, with humanity's current technology, to cross a distance of just 1 light-year would take at least 10,000 years. So, for now, places beyond our solar system are currently out of our reach. However, the closer you get to the center of the Milky Way, the more densely packed the nearby stars become. This also means that planets there would be more dangerous. For example, supernova explosions from surrounding stars would be more frequent. Perhaps primitive single-celled life, just after it formed, would already be wiped out by such events. In contrast, our Earth is located in a relatively outer part of the Milky Way, which has provided a stable environment, allowing for the evolution of complex life over billions of years. Therefore, even though there are as many as 300 million potentially habitable planets in the Milky Way, planets as relatively stable as Earth were found to be quite rare by the Kepler telescope. So, we should cherish this hard-won Earth and cherish this one and only home that belongs to us.